Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for July 14th. Looking for the U.S.-Japanese yen pair to continue moving sideways with the biases sideways. We did close up for this particular pair during this last session. We are looking for this pair to possibly go as high as 94.39, possibly as low as 91.95. Look for some resistance around 93.75 and look for some support around 92.69 in this pair. Now, switching to the Euro-USD pair, this pair pretty much went up and tagged our previous trend lines, but did move back and close down for the session. We are looking for this pair to continue moving sideways with a bias that is sideways, potentially moving as high as 141.10, possibly as low as 138.21. Look for some resistance around 14,000 and look for some support around 139.37 in this particular pair. Now, going back and looking at the pound US dollar pair, this pair closed up during this last session, still moving sideways, still has a bias that is sideways. Look for it to potentially go as high as 164.60, possibly as low as 161.02. Look for some resistance around 163.50 and look for some support around 161.87. Now, switching to the US Swiss, this pair continues to move sideways, bias sideways, did close up for the session. What we are looking for is it to potentially go as high as 110.17, possibly as low as 107.30. Look for some resistance around 109.41 and look for some support around 107.30. Now, the pound released their CPI today. It was as expected at 1.8%. The U.S. released their advanced retail sales. It was better than expected, which kind of explains some of the strength the U.S. saw today at 0.6% from 0.4%. Now, looking ahead into tomorrow's session, the pound has their jobless claims change for June being released at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus is that the jobless claims have moved higher from 39.3K to 41.2K, which would be negative news for the pound. And the euro has their CPI being released for June at 5 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus is it's held at 1.5%. The U.S. has their CPI report also being released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus is things have moved a little bit lower from negative 1.3% down to negative 1.6%. So not a whole lot of jump there. Definitely inflation is under control, at least currently in the U.S. Now, the U.S. also has their FOMC minutes being released at 2 p.m. Most of this information is released during the news announcement, the FOMC news announcement, so I don't anticipate getting a bump from that. However, the CPI is one of the probably the third top news announcements for the U.S. and definitely has the potential to move the market, so definitely keep that in mind. Now, what am I looking for during this next session? Looking at the U.S.-Japanese yen pair, we have this high and this high fairly close together. We have this area of what was previous support that could now be resistance. You could definitely see a break above the 94.00 level and definitely see it breaking above that and basically running up and tagging this particular area. So look for this window of opportunity. If you notice during this session, we just went straight down between those 2 points without much of a hitch. So definitely keep an eye on this particular move. Should happen over this next session, possibly the next. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.